Hello, my friends. I wanted to reach out to you this afternoon. I want to thank those of you who have reached out and let me know how deeply impacted you have been by what we witnessed in our nation's capital yesterday and the heart sickness of seeing such violence and hatred and destruction within the halls of our capital. And I wanted to share with you the words of Martin Luther King Jr. this afternoon. I wish that I was as articulate as him. However, I am not. And I want to borrow his words about love and the power of love and the necessity for love. He, of course, was the object of so much hatred during his lifetime, and he ultimately was the victim of hatred when he was assassinated. And yet he knew that as a follower of Jesus and as someone who professed belief in God and who he talked about as being love, that God is love, that is the value that he always needed to aspire to. And he gave a speech in 1967 to the Southern Christian Leadership Conference with some of his most famous quotes contained in it. And I just want to share a few excerpts from it today, because I found myself returning to it a number of times over the years when I have been tempted to hate or needed to be reminded of the power of even words, words to do harm. So let me share this with you, and I hope that there might be some comfort and some encouragement in it for you today. Darkness cannot put out darkness. Only light can do that. And I say to you, I have also decided to stick with love, for I know that love is ultimately the only answer to humankind's problems. And I'm going to talk about it everywhere I go. I know it isn't popular to talk about it in some circles today. And I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love, for I have seen too much hate. I have seen too much hate on the faces of sheriffs in the South. I've seen hate on the faces of too many Klansmen and too many white citizens in the South to want to hate myself, because every time I see it, I know that it does something to their faces and their personalities. And I say to myself that hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love. And if you are seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love. And I must confess, my friends, that the road ahead will not always be smooth. There will still be rocky places of frustration and meandering points of frustration and bewilderment. There will be inevitable setbacks here and there will be those moments when the buoyancy of hope will be transformed into the fatigue of despair. Our dreams will sometimes be shattered and our ethereal hopes blasted. We may again, with tear-drenched eyes, have to stand before the bier of some courageous civil rights worker whose life will be snuffed out by the dastardly acts of bloodthirsty mobs. But difficult and painful as it is, we must walk on in the days ahead with an audacious faith in the future. Let us realize that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And so, my friends, know that I am praying today for our country, for our leaders, for those who lost their lives yesterday, for all those that were involved whose hearts are filled with hatred. That I am praying for those who are despairing today. And that I am praying for all of us in our country, that we can choose love, that we can see that hatred and violence is too heavy a burden to bear. So know that my prayers are with you. Be safe and be well, my friends.